30 seconds before we kick this off. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Dave Yang, and I'm the co-founder of Pursuit. Thank you all for coming tonight to our full stack web hackathon for our 6.4 nights and weekends class. Really excited to welcome you all. And to our fellows, good luck. I'm really looking forward to seeing all the projects that you've built this weekend. But I wanted to kick off the evening by rewinding the clock and looking back a little bit to the journey our fellows have gone through so far. Next slide. So this is a slide that I think all of our fellows have seen before. Exactly 9 months ago, to this day actually, our 6.0 fellows started their coding journey and started the fellowship. Many of the fellows came in with little or no coding experience, but what we all know is that they all had potential, and you've all really demonstrated that so far. You continue to show, I think, incredible grit, passion, and determination every day. So 9 months later, you've all learned the fundamentals of web development. And I want to also mention that, I'm incredibly proud of all of you, particularly because you guys are learning how to code on nights and weekends. Many of you have daytime jobs, many of you are supporting your families, and that in and of itself is an incredible accomplishment. So, I think I want to mention as we kick off this evening that I'm incredibly proud of you. I know all of the team is really proud of all the accomplishments that you've made so far. And the hackathon is really a big milestone. It's really a launching point. You're taking everything that you've learned over the last 9 months and putting it to action by creating an app from start to finish in a really condensed, intensive time frame. So it's a really important milestone, but it's only part of the journey, and there's so much more ahead. As you can see from the diagram, we're at, that first leg of the journey. From here, everyone's going to continue to build your capstone project. That's another opportunity to grow your skills and build a fully fledged, web application. And beyond that lies the goal of helping you get your first job in technology. So we're really excited at that whole journey to come as well. Next slide. And so, yeah, reflecting back on where we came from, 9 months ago, this is a picture from exactly 9 months ago. One of the first exercises that we did in class was called Junk Wars. We asked all the fellows to grab, a bunch of junk, pieces of cardboard, paper, whatever they could find, and they were tasked with building something useful. That sounds pretty familiar, doesn't it? And during this exercise, we explained that Junk Wars is really, not that dissimilar from what you'll experience as a programmer. You have ambiguous requirements, you have constant changes, constant challenges, and you're going to be working on as a team to develop a product. So, yeah, I wanted to take this moment to reflect on this journey so far. On top of all your daily responsibilities of supporting yourselves and your families, you've dedicated yourselves to learning how to code. And you've gone from building stuff out of cardboard to now building apps with code. So, yeah, you're all building real products and solutions with technology. So that's a huge accomplishment so far. And yeah, as I mentioned, the journey is just starting. Hackathon's a big milestone, but yeah, I encourage all of you to keep that long-term vision in your mind and work, continue to work hard every day to get there. But Yeah, before we launch the demos, I want to thank our partners, mentors, and quickly introduce our judges. I want to thank Code Academy for making this hackathon possible. We've been partnering with Code Academy, and I think there's so much to build upon, and I'm really looking forward to building our relationship. So next slide, I want to introduce our hackathon technical mentors who helped guide our teams over the weekend. And there's some familiar faces here, and they're faces which, I'm sure all the teams here spent some quality time with this weekend. Carlos was a Pursuit Fellow, and he's now working at OneDrop as a web software engineer. Rebecca, who is a software engineer at Code Academy. Mike, he's a long-time Pursuit volunteer, and he's a senior software engineer at Code Academy. Josh is a front-end engineer at Code Academy, and Andy is also a software engineer at Code Academy. So please join me in thanking our technical mentors for helping out this weekend and for pushing our fellows with their projects. Go to the next slide. We also had volunteer designers this weekend. So I want to thank our design mentors for helping guide our teams on their designs. Patrick is a senior product designer from Dataminer. Merritt is the head of product design at mParticle. Sonia, product design lead at mParticle. And Sarah, who is the creative director at mParticle. So please join me in thanking our design mentors today. And next slide. And last but not least, I want to introduce the judges for tonight. The judges will offer feedback later, but wanted to give the judges some opportunity now to quickly introduce yourselves. So we'll just quickly go from left to right. If you could quickly introduce yourselves, and then we'll get started from there. So Arpan.
Cool. Hi, everyone. I'm Arpan. I'm on the business development team at Code Academy, so I specifically handle strategic partnerships. I'm fairly new to the team at Code Academy. I've been there for 2 months. Prior to that, I was at SoundCloud for the last 3 years doing product marketing and brand partnerships. Really excited to be here and excited to see what you've all cooked up the last few days.
Hey y'all, I'm Kip Price. I'm an engineering manager at Code Academy. I've been coding since I was 8 years old. It started as a way to be able to make video games, which weren't allowed in my household. Ended up being a way that I want to leave my positive impact on the world. I'm super excited to be with you all here today.
Hi everyone, I'm Jesser. I am a product manager at Code Academy, also fairly new. Before Code Academy, I was APM at Twitter. And yeah, I'm really excited to be here. I've been on the hacking side of things, so really excited to see all the projects you guys have built.
Hey, I'm Oliver. I'm the head of engineering at Code Academy. I got into technology in the mid-90s. Was super passionate about gaming and networking, and it was like very hard to set up computer networks back then. And long journey led me to Code Academy, where I've been leading the engineering team now for about 2.5 years.
Hey everybody, I'm Koma. I'm the head of curriculum at Code Academy. I've been here for a little over a year. I've had a lot of roles trying to bridge technology and operations and trying to find solutions through technology. And once I did have to teach myself HTML from a book. And so I appreciate the fact that coding is an interesting journey for everybody, and it sounds like you've made amazing progress. So congratulations on everything that you've done, and we're really excited to see what you've created.
Awesome, thank you, judges. I think we're really excited to show you the apps that our fellows have presented. And I think in a lot of ways, the mission of Code Academy is, very much aligned with the mission here at Pursuit to provide opportunity and to expand access into technology. So thank you again, Code Academy. Thank you, judges, for introducing yourselves. And with that, I think we have opening remarks from Mike Boyle. So I will hand it over to Mike.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, I just want to echo what has already been said, and mostly just say how happy I am to be here and how happy I am that all of you are here, all the amazing design mentors, and judges, and of course, everybody from 6.4 who has done amazing work and has come so far. I've been volunteering at Pursuit for a couple of years. You know, I wanted to make tech better, and I wanted to make my community better. And I've definitely gained so much from this experience. It's made me a better engineer and a better mentor, and honestly, a better person. And I would encourage everybody who, you know, got some exposure to this over the weekend to continue to support Pursuit and its mission and the fellows, because it's such a fulfilling experience. And as Dave was saying, you know, Codecademy's mission is really aligned with Pursuit's mission. You know, like, we're not just a company that sells you courses on coding. We're here to democratize education. And we believe that learning to code is not just gaining a skill, it's about transforming yourself as a person and transforming your life. And, you know, one of Pursuit's mottos is that they're delivering transformation where it's needed most. So, you know, these are two companies that are interested in helping you transform your life and making a positive impact on the world. Codecademy is a company that has real values that are about more than just, you know, being a startup that wants to have a big exit. We're encouraged every day to do things that make our users' lives easier, and we're encouraged to do things that make the world around us better. And I think that's what's brought all of us here today. So, you know, I just want to thank everybody for the contributions that they made to make this weekend happen. The design mentors did some amazing work, and I think we're going to see the result of that very soon. And I want to thank the technical mentors, Josh and Andy and Rebecca and Carlos as well. And then all of our judges, Kip, Oliver, Koma, Jesser, and Arpan. You know, these mentors that worked with you this weekend, like, these are my mentors too. These are the people that I also go to when I'm stuck. And, you know, you never stop getting stuck as an engineer, you just get stuck on different things. And the judges that you're going to meet today are people that, like all of us at Codecademy, rely upon for their expertise and for their vision and for their judgment, which makes them such good judges. So it's really awesome to have them all here. And I'm really just grateful also to everybody at Pursuit. Alexis Medina, who I think is here today, is the volunteer manager, our coordinator, and she has just done such an amazing job bringing in exceptional volunteers and helping them have the sort of impact that they're best at, and helping us get better at being volunteers. And then lastly, the 6.4 cohort is led by Caroline, who is the product manager, and Corey, who is the instructor here. And I think the two of them together are just a relentless team that have never settled for anything but the best, and are constantly, like, pushing but also inspiring and supporting the fellows who are in the middle of the hardest journey probably that they've ever done, and the most transformative experience they're ever going to have in their lives, not just for them, but for their families and their communities. And I just thank you all. Like, the work you're doing here is so valuable, and I'm so touched and humbled that you all participated. That's all I really have to say. So I'm going to hand it off to Corey, who is going to be our master of ceremonies today.
Hello, yeah, that's me. I am the MC. I'm just gonna go back to our slides. Which, can you see this screen? Yes, right? All right. That's me. The same person that's the talking box right now. I was the instructor. I had lots of help though from John and Jenya and Celine and Caroline in the classroom as well. Okay, so our theme this year for our 6.4 fellows was to build something you would use every day. That's something that's kind of fun because maybe it's changed since the start of COVID and you're locked down in your house all the time. Or maybe it's something you've always wanted to use every day. We do have some awesome prizes at the end. Thank you to Codecademy and we will be giving out prizes for most creative. This is to the team that was the most creative, right? We have the most ambitious as well as the most useful. And there is one more that's not mentioned on the slide, which will be the Audience Choice Award, or as I like to call it, the most popular, right? Because, come on. But we do have, this will be very fun. And once again, thank you so much, Codecademy, for making all of this possible. So tonight we've got some demo presentations. And this is the presentation order. So we're going to start off with some Tastebuds, Tectonic, All About the Green, COVID Near Us, Soothe, No Thanks, and YouTube to Spotify. So Tastebuds, you are up. So I'm going to stop my screen share and go ahead and take the stage.
Okay. All right. Hi, my name is Samantha Jimenez. I am currently a secretary working for the Department of Education in South Williamsburg, and I'm an aspiring full-stack web developer.
Hi, my name is John Jones, also go as Jay Jones. I am a middle school educator. I teach technology and health education, and I'm looking forward to becoming a full-stack web developer.
Hi, my name is Kevin Brutus. I go by just Brutus. Yes, I am bold. I'm a housing specialist for the city of New York, and I am looking forward to becoming a software engineer. And this is our app, Tastebuds.
Okay, so the problem. Tired of eating alone? New to a neighborhood? Want to try new cuisines, but your friends are too busy? Try Tastebuds, a web app designed to try that new cuisine down the block with a potential new yummy buddy. Tastebud users will be able to find a restaurant in their neighborhood based off of their zip code. They'll be able to see who is dining at this particular restaurant, see if they'd like to join the reservation, or if not, create a reservation of their own. So let's head over to Tastebuds.
So we have a user by the name of Jay Jones who his friends do not want to go anywhere and eat anywhere. So he comes to Tastebuds. On Tastebuds, he's prompted to enter his zip code so that they can find restaurants in his neighborhood. So he enters his zip code of 11208. Then we get a list of all the nearby restaurants. So many to pick from. I'm feeling like I am in a sushi kind of mood. Yeah. So once I pick on that restaurant, I am brought to a restaurant page where I see I can make a reservation, and I also see existing reservations. But right now there are no existing reservations. So I'll create one. So here I enter my information, my name, my email address, my phone number, and my Instagram so that people who want to join my reservation can see what kind of person I am. And now it's time to pick the day. I am feeling like a brunch kind of mood. And the best day to go to brunch is on a Saturday. So we pick a Saturday, and we're going to go with the time about 12:45-ish. That sounds about right. Yep. I agree to the terms of use, and I create a reservation. After I create a reservation, now my reservation pops up under existing reservations where people can now join my reservation.
Now, I, Brutus, decide that none of my friends want to join me as well. My girlfriend is allergic to fish, so she doesn't want to go to Nori Sushi with me. So I decided to, hey, why not use Tastebuds? I am in the same zip code as Jay, so I pop on over to Nori Sushi, and I see that Jay already has a reservation. If the time is sufficient, so I'm going to join him. So I hit the join me button, I enter my name, I enter my email address, and my phone number. And this is a shameless Instagram plug, but Brutus _ the bold. The bald, I'm sorry, because I'm bald now. And I agree to the terms and policies of Tastebuds and join Jay's reservation. Once I do, you see that his reservation disappears because I and Jay are now dining together, and our app is designed to only accommodate 2 reservations at this time. So anyone else that would like to join will have to create their own reservation moving forward. If we could go back to our welcome page. So in the future implementations of our application, we look forward to have our users have profiles to add a personal field, allow for larger reservation sizes, allow our users to leave restaurant reviews. So, you know, I don't want to dine there or meet a taste bud there or have a favorite restaurant. So we'd like to thank you all for taking the time to hear about Tastebuds. My name is Kevin Brutus.
My name is John Jones.
Sorry, my name is Samantha Jimenez.
And we are now ready for your questions.
Woo!
Very cool. This is Oliver over here at Code Academy. I had a quick question about the source of the restaurants. Where did you all integrate with on the API front? Really love the presentation.
Jay, would you mind to take that question?
Yes, thank you, Oliver. We are using an API called US Restaurants that we're using. We got it from Rapid API, the website Rapid API. That is where we are populating our restaurants.
Hi, this is Jesser with Code Academy. I had a question, which is, how did you guys think about building this? Like, what did you like talk to any people, or like what led you to build and focus on this particularly?
So Tastebuds was a bit of my brainchild, and I thought about it because I consider myself to be a foodie, and I do have interest in multiple restaurants. However, I do struggle with the dilemma of, oh crap, I have no one to go with. So that's how I came with the idea for Tastebuds. That way we won't have people out there that are afraid to dine alone in the future or have to find a new cuisine or anything by themselves.
Got it. Thank you.
Hey, this is Arpan. Obviously, we're all kind of working remotely. Can you talk about some of the challenges that you face working as a team together, but not being able to be in the same room?
Actually, we did a lot of pair programming with shared screens through Zoom. So that really helped for us to stay connected and be on the same page in terms of like, you know, what we're working on and, you know, and whose branch, who's touching what, so there's no merge issues.
And to add on to that, Jay, due to religious reasons, typically can't join us on Saturdays. So he actually took the effort to actually jump in and do some testing with the API before we were able to jump into our code on Saturday and share that information with us, which definitely helped. So we definitely communicated very often and we're very engaged with one another, checking our Slack messages just to make sure that everything was in tune with one another.
Hi, this is Koma. I'm curious, I know that when you're going through these processes, you have to make trade-offs because you can't get everything done, but you want to get enough done so you feel like you have created solved the problem that you set out to create. So I'd be interested if you have any examples of trade-offs that you made during the process and how you arrived at the decision that you did.
There were definitely several cuts that we had to make to the application. At first, we definitely wanted to have this user profile to allow for this to allow for the personal aspect, to allow each personal user to create a reservation. However, we had to cut out of that because of the time crunch that we had to create this application, so we didn't allow for authentication just yet. And to supplement for that, we just allowed our users to input more personal information upon their join reservation or upon their create reservation, rather than have that user profile. So when they click create reservation, they have to input that information instead of having an initial input when they create a profile.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tastebuds. Let's give it up for the Tastebuds. Tastebuds. All right. Coming up next, we've got Tectonic. So Tectonic, please take the stage.
Hello, everyone. Hi, guys.
Hi, everyone. Good evening, folks. And welcome to the future of your Twitterverse, the next app on your mobile device, Tectonic, your daily tonic of top tech trends. So first, I want to introduce our co-founding team, starting with Isaiah.
Hi, I'm Isaiah. Excuse me. I'm a junior full stack web developer coming from 2 years of schooling at Rochester Institute of Technology. I love creating video games and playing lacrosse. And our project manager, Kong, can introduce himself next.
Hi guys, my name is Kong, but people call me like King Kong or Kong as an easy term. And I come from non-tech background too. I come from a legal field. I was a paralegal for the last 4.5 years. And I love Pokemons and delicious food. And we have a Nilbert, our design lead.
Hi everyone, I'm Nova Ramon. I led our UI UX process. I'm currently a junior web developer with a background in nonprofit management. And of course, my aspirations with all this technical, newfound technical know-how that I've garnered here at Pursuit is to contribute, to be able to contribute to organizations that are supported and want to support, who support communities of color and queer communities. So let's begin to explore this brave new world of daily tech queries that we can't live without. Why do we need a platform that targets trends in the tech world on social media? How can Tectonic make this happen? And how can we evolve Tectonic so that you can continue to slay what's trending in the tech world? So let's begin by looking at a dilemma. We all love Twitter. We're all on Twitter. It's the haven for developers on social media. It's where you can find the latest news, trends, whatever's happening, how we network and share. But sometimes that does become a bit too much. And we've, a lot of us have faced the whole social media overload and how that impacts our time management and also our productivity. So it can become overwhelming. And sometimes the interfaces that we use on social media also can become a bit overwhelming and a bit cluttered. And some of us also do have privacy concerns that, we're worried about our personal information and sharing our data. So that has an impact. So how can we deal with this? How can we deal with these social media troubles? Well, that's why we have Tectonic, our metaphorical helper function for developers on the rise and in the know. So to show us how Tectonic can help us deal with all this is Isaiah with our concepts.
Tectonic is a web app, any and all related trends. Our team has strived to create a solution to the problems that we addressed beforehand. We've developed a crisp and streamlined user interface and user experience design, an environment that breeds and promotes productivity, a workaround to not need a user account if you want to interact with Twitter and be involved in the Twitter environment, and a customizable set of displayed information. And to show how we implement that, Kong is going to lead our demo for you guys.
Yes, let me share the demo screen. Nilbert, can you switch to a new one? I'm going to do it right now. Yes. Hello, everyone. Once you open Tectonic, you'll be landing on the main feed page on default search with like a full stack trending. Right now it's on CSS. You can see the next one, they're talking about relevance. And of course, that's like just trending for full stack. Of course, what if you are like iOS or Android developers? You can search for something like iOS, and the page will be reloading with the iOS. And what if you are like Android developers in the same time? You can search for something that your own term, and it will make an update according to the keywords or the hashtag that you enter. Of course, if you are not interested in those things anymore, you can remove those things, and it will return the page to a default search, which you can follow the full stack. If you find something interesting, if you feel something you like to retweeting, you can click the users, the name, for the profile, it will redirect you to the page for the actual page in Twitter. And if you like the post, you can click the content or you can click the text. It will redirect you to the actual page, the posting page. Obviously, this there's a lot of ways to improve. And Isaiah is going to introduce the future of Tectonic.
Yeah. At Tectonic, we have a countless number of features that we can't wait to include, such as speech and voice recognition, creating Twitter integration so that way you can interact with the tweets on our site rather than having to click on the tweet and go to Twitter itself, a persistent list of user-defined default queries so when you land on our site, you see what you want to see as soon as you get to our site rather than having to search, and an algorithm that updates the app's predefined queries based on the most popular user searches.
So get ready, because Tectonic is here to revolutionize your daily tech journey. So we did want to share our contact because we want to hear from you, any feedback. If you want to shout out, we're going to share our contact, our LinkedIn information on the chat message. And of course, we're ready for the Q&A.
Hey all, this is Kip from Code Academy. What was the trickiest thing that you ran into when trying to implement this Tectonic?
I can answer that. So with the Twitter API, there was an application process, and we had applied on Wednesday, 2 days before we were set to start coding. And we were waiting for an email to say that we got accepted, never got it. And by Saturday morning, we were panicking, trying to figure out what to do. But luckily enough, for some reason, they didn't end up sending the email. We just got approved. I just ended up trying to check the website and it showed that we got approved. And just very thankful that that happened.
Hi, this is Jesser. I used to work at Twitter, so this is really interesting. I'm curious how you validated this as a user problem. Like maybe were there customer conversations or did you find tweets from people who were talking about a service like this?
I think for me, it was more from personal experience. I follow so many users on Twitter across so many different things. And I've come to learn that Twitter's been a really central and pivotal platform for social media for developers to share and to figure out things. And so I kind of appreciated this idea where it can kind of target and focus on tech related things. And that way, I can, for myself, improve my networking skills, and also anyone else can do that as well. So a lot of it was from personal experience, at least for me.
Gotcha.
Hi, this is Koma. For the things that you mentioned that were future enhancements, how did you decide on those, and how did you prioritize which ones you think you would do first and then ones that would have to wait?
I definitely think the accessibility is something really important. Of course, in 2 days, I mean, that's not even an excuse. That's something that should be central to the design. And so we wanted to really check and make sure that it was fully compliant with WCAG standards, and that anyone and everyone would be able to use our app. And I mean, the whole point of it is to streamline, to simplify, to really make it all about the user experience. So that's something that's really important, and that we wanted to definitely focus on a future implementation.
Yeah, and to add on to that, with the Twitter integration, so you can sign in with Twitter, and for the persistent list of default queries, it's also just an add-on to increase the user's experience. So that way they don't have to research the same terms multiple times every time you land on our site.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much
I wanted
Tectonic.
to, oh, sorry, I wanted to
Oh.
give a shout out. Thank you to Mary and Josh as well, our mentors. Apologies, I didn't say that earlier, but they were awesome. Thank
Guys,
you.
they were really helpful.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so coming up next, I don't know if everyone's got that list completely memorized, but we're gonna do a slight change due to some technical difficulties. So coming up next, please put your hands together for COVID Near Us. COVID, take it away.
All right, good evening, everyone. This is COVID Near Us or Near US, however you want to interpret your words. I'm Giovanni Luna. Quick fun fact about me. I love soccer and I'm so excited about the season returning after COVID-19. And these are my teammates.
I'm Deja Flynn and I love the beach and I'm so hyped to get back to the beach. And this is...
Hi everybody, I'm Maria Martinez. I am an artist. I've also worked as a chocolatier and a baker, and I'm looking forward to landing a job in front-end development after Pursuit. And we are COVID Near Us. COVID-19 is primarily spread from person to person. COVID-19 cases and deaths have been reported in all 50 states and around the world, and the situation is constantly changing. Because travel increases your chances of getting infected and spreading COVID-19, staying home is the best way to stay safe and keep others safe around you as well.
How can a person travel safely and be informed from one state to another during COVID-19? Now, we don't know if one type of travel is safer than others. Also, there are places where it can be hard to social distance. How will we know if one state we desire to travel to may have a surge in positive cases, deaths, or even available hospital beds? The COVID Near Us app is a quick solution to the person who needs to travel and stay informed about each single state in one app. And now the problem.
Xavier. He is a 23-year-old young man who has been selected for a position that requires him to relocate to New York. He is originally from Arizona and doesn't know where anything is in New York. So he's looking for an app that has all that information in one place. So first he goes to check out his current, well, the homepage has the US population, is the total deaths, the hospitalizations, and positive cases. So positive cases are in line graphs above. And then we can scroll down and see a Twitter feed, a live Twitter feed, and a news feed. So now he wants to check out his state, Arizona, before checking out New York. So it populates total cases, total deaths, and currently hospitalizations in Arizona, and it also gives you links to the government websites and the sources for them. So he's gonna go check out what's going on in New York now. He is satisfied with that information, along with the Twitter feed and news feed as well for Arizona. So he's gonna go check out New York now.
Let's go New York.
We're doing a great job, actually. Keep that curve down. And so now we have the total positive cases, deaths, and currently in the hospital. We have our Twitter feed and our live news feed as well, totally interactive. So now, once he's at New York, he wants to go check out the testing sites. So he wants to find a testing site. He's gonna type in a zip code where he will be relocated at. And he will get three testing sites that he can go to once he gets to New York. And now, yeah, sorry.
And the great thing about the information on all the local testing sites is we actually have addresses, websites, and phone numbers for each location. And to have ease of use for the user, we actually implemented driving directions to each separate location. So pulling up
So
the driving license.
yes. So he
And
can.
we understand the importance of social media and getting important information out quickly. So we actually added a couple of share buttons below in the footer, and we can actually share in a tweet COVID near us. It is fully deployed, so you can actually visit this website currently.
All right, and I'm gonna conclude with future implementations. We wanted to talk about racial disparities, but the API isn't available, so we're waiting for that. We also have to adapt this to mobile so it can be a quick, easy share for everyone. And that is COVID near us.
I will be also sharing the link below. If you want to check out about the team, we also have our LinkedIn's linked to each of us. And that is COVID-19. I mean, that is COVID near us.
We're open to any questions or any feedback.
This is Oliver here at Codecademy. Super impressed by the application. I think one of the things that stood out that I was curious about is how many different integrations, because y'all are pulling data from at least 3 or 4 different sources. So wanted to hear a little bit more about that. Again, very impressed.
Sure. Thank you, by the way. We're pulling from multiple APIs. There's a lot of things going on in every website. For example, in the testing sites, we are grabbing, so you can put in actual US addresses, zip codes, cities. And so for example, we use the Google geolocation there, and it'll translate that into coordinates, and then that gets called in another API to return the local testing sites.
Cool.
We also use packages that have like the interactive maps to have the charts display, the Twitter feed, and the news feeds as well.
And news feed.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Hey, Arpan here. So in terms of the news feed and the Twitter feed, how are you filtering this information so that it's relevant to the state or the location that somebody's searching for?
So a lot of thanks to Josh for helping out with that. We actually were calling, so when you click on a state, it gives you a value abbreviation, and that actually gets handed up to the parent div and gets passed down as a prop. And in that, with the prop, you get multiple API fetches. And so we pass that through Twitter, and we also pass that through the newsfeed. And that's how we get all our information for each state.
Hi, this is Jesser. I have one last question, which is one of the problems with Twitter, even though it's a great platform, is misinformation. Is that something you thought about as you have this Twitter feed alongside the news feed?
Yeah, we did. So actually with each Twitter feed that's being pulled, it's for the official Department of Health of each state. So what's being displayed is current official government information for each state. So it will tell you which phases are going on, what recommendations. On the official homepage, we have the CDC. And for example, when New York was displayed, it had the Department of Health of New York.
Sweet, thank you so much. This is awesome.
Thank you.
All right then. Awesome. Thank you guys very much. Thank you, COVID near us. Very cool. Okay, coming up next, we've got the one-stop shop. Please put your hands together for Soothe, everybody. Soothe.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ashia Manning. I am an elementary art instructor. I love creating music and dancing. And I look forward to this journey of becoming a full stack web developer. And my teammates are.
Hi, I'm Brandon Brown. I'm aspiring to be a full stack web developer professionally, and I'm inspired by sports, music, and sports and music.
Hi, my name is Sian Bezi. My son started coding at third grade, so he inspired me to become a full stack web developer.
And we are Soothe. So, haven't you had some pretty hard days? Hasn't there been enough on your plate where you've gone through too many apps in your phone and you're just overwhelmed? We'd like to present you with a scenario.
Hi, everybody. So I have to check the weather today because I have to go to work. So let me check tonight. Oh, it's gonna be a little bit windy. Okay, so let me check my calendar. Let me check exactly what time I have to leave from home. Okay, let me set up an alarm. I would like to set up an alarm. Ouch. I click another app because they all look the same. Sometimes they have the same color. So let me go back. I need to check again and press and set up my alarm. Oh, I'm tired to have too much apps in my phone. So let me ask my friend, does anybody have any solution for me? I want just one app that I can use whatever I need for my start my journey smoothly.
Yes, we have Soothe. Sometimes you just want to scream. Sometimes there are just no other options to ease your mind. With Soothe, we allow you to set an alarm or set a task that has a specific alert to the weather of that day. So not only are you getting an alarm, you're getting the clock, the current weather, and an alarm all in one. And here we will present the app. Okay, so as you can see, it is now 7:50 on Monday, June 22nd, and the temperature is 80 degrees. I can't believe it because I've been in my house for some time now, but it is lovely outside. It's clear skies to be specific, and there's a humidity of 58%. Now, if we go to our corner left, we'll have a task alarm where you can see a clock, and we can set an alarm for 7:51. And as you can see, you're notified that a task was created. Once the alarm goes off, you have this nice, subtle birds chirping, waking you up. You don't have these loud horns and a forceful wake up. You're introduced to a nice morning of the day you're gonna have. Now, say for example, it was raining. You would be introduced to a sound of a light rain on your porch or window. And as we'll head back to the slide, Would like to talk about some future implementations. And here I'll pass it over to Brandon Brown.
So for some future implementations, we want users to be able to choose their own music alerts and upload their own sounds. We'd also like to incorporate a calendar so that users are able to like organize their day better and their tasks, as well as their alarms. So they would be able to select the task and time for a specific day on the for a specific date on the calendar. We would also like to incorporate voice text message alerts. So there was like this API we found, but we didn't have enough time to incorporate it. That would basically take our text and a number, and it would be able to format it whichever way you would want it to be sent as in text message or a verbal message by phone call. And we would also like to incorporate, include a audio player that so users can like add their own music and just play whatever whatever music that they want to play on our app. And this is Soothe.
We'd like to thank a few people who helped us along the way. Carlos Martinez, Andy Sonera, and Patrick Cartelli. Thank you so much, because you have no idea how you really kept us along the path that we were trying to go. And it was really a pleasure working with you all.
Thank you all.
And now we'll open the floor for questions.
Hey, this is Kip. What are you proudest of in the Soothe app?
I can say getting that alert and that sound to play. Whoo! I was like screaming for joy, because it was such a hard time getting it to work. And then I would also like to just a quick thank you to Vaniel, because he helped us during our crunch time, and he really really made sure that we were understanding what was going on and how to implement it correctly. So I would really like to thank him for that. So I think that was my proudest moment, but I'm pretty sure my teammates may have another proud moment that they could share.
I would definitely say creating calculating how to set the alarm off, because there's just a lot of different ways of doing it. But I mean, like when I build the app, I would definitely have to change the way I've done it. But I was pretty proud of that.
I was like proud of like to connect the geolocation with the API, the weather API, because I really had a hard time to connect together. And thank you for my mentor. Like he helped me a lot, like last minute, like to click and understand exactly why it's not connected.
Any more questions?
Out of curiosity, did you think about any other sounds for morning, or how you decide to connect kind of the weather to the specific sound, and what process did you go through to think about what would be the most, I would say, beneficial for the user?
Okay, so we definitely thought of other sounds. However, with the different, because the weather is so specific, and it could be a clear day with light clouds or just a clear day with clear skies, we would literally have to pair each sound to each geolocation API call that we receive. So that would be, I guess, the stretch, the far goal, because you have different locations. So they're going to have different weathers and different attributes to their hometown. So there was that was a big question in our app. And we, with such a crunch time, we just didn't have time to go into it more.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Soothe. I will be using your app. Definitely. All right. Should we see another team? If you said no thanks, you are correct. Coming up next is no thanks.
Hello, good evening, you guys. First of all, I just want to thank all the judges that took time out of their day today to help volunteer. A very special thanks to the volunteers, Andy, Rebecca, and Merritt, who just inspired our creativity during the last 48 hours and just helped us go through this. My name is Rafid Hossein. I currently work at Bank of America, and recently I've been working at the loan department to forgive loans to small businesses that were affected by COVID-19. Fun fact about me is I am a previous ranked chess player. I used to play in national and statewide tournaments, and I just love playing chess.
Hi, my name is Marvin Thompson. I'm 25 years old. I'm a singer-songwriter from Queens, New York City. And a fun fact about me is that last year around this time, I got to play Afropunk with my band for about 10,000 people. It was pretty awesome. So thank you for having me.
Hey, my name is Danny. I'm from Queens, New York. And a fun fact about me is prior to pursuing a career in software development, I was an audio engineer. And as an engineer, I was able to travel in and out of the country to work. And I was also able to work with a few major hip hop artists such as Tory Lanez and Juvenile.
Wow, thank you, Marvin. Thank you, Danny. So now that you guys have a little bit of introduction of ourselves, we want to introduce our app, which is No Thanks. So the basic problem that we were having was when you look at, review apps, let's say Yelp, for example, it allows users to create these reviews, but there really isn't a way to sift through all the reviews and distinguish which restaurants are really good or bad. The case is especially when bad reviews can span for different reasons: slow service, payment issues, or terrible management. And when I mean terrible management, I mean on facts when management or waiters, workers are discriminatory against people based off their race, culture, religion, and don't want to let them in. And a lot of times for large restaurants, users can't always see these bad reviews because they're overshadowed by hundreds and hundreds of really good reviews. And that one bad review actually makes sense. So as a team, we collectively thought is how can we help these people get their voices heard? Because we want people to understand that some restaurants are terribly just horrible and we don't want to go there. So the solution was no thanks. So with no thanks, basically our app recovers the absolute worst reviews from a user's neighborhood. This allows users to make informed decisions about their dining experience. And because of the fact that we're giving the bad news first, users are more cautious before walking into a restaurant or a location where they're visiting, and they'll get more context behind the bad rating to avoid any biases towards that restaurant. Right now, this is just a perfect app for us because with phase 2 starting, restaurants will start to open up. So keep in mind where you're going to be going once this happens. I'm going to move this over to Marvin, and he's going to basically show you the app itself.
All right, thank you, Rafid. So I'm an indecisive person, so I log on to No Thanks, and I'm greeted by my home page. Hosts our search component, where although we do utilize geolocation to grab the user's current location, I feel like I want to eat Mexican food around my zip code. So we're going to type that in now. On submit, you're greeted by our search results page, where there's going to be a scroll box that will be populated with result cards based on what you've put inside. The search bar and search results consists of 2 parts: the right side with general information about the category, the amount of reviews, and our current rating, as well as the left side with the name, photograph, as well as address and contact information. In order to get those reviews in question, you can click on the restaurant card, sorry about that, and you'll be greeted with a modal, and that modal consists with information with our hours of location, as well as the reviews, our rating, and as well as a price rating system, which would tell you how expensive that restaurant is. So we're hoping that this will provide a seamless user experience and give more context to help out our user with their spending habits. Now we're going to talk about feature implementations.
Thank you so much, Marvin. So, with this idea coming in, we do have a lot of ideas moving forward. We don't want you guys to look at this as a negative way to just, bash on a restaurant, because, at the end of the day, you want to go out and eat. A lot of times, like myself, I use Yelp. So when I go on Yelp and I see a bad review, customers will say, I ended up leaving XYZ restaurant and I ended up going to this other restaurant. That other restaurant could now just be recognized as a good restaurant. So we want users to actually still have that positive experience and be able to go and eat somewhere. So we want to add a little Yelp link next to the area where it'll give you some good restaurants that you can go to. I don't know if you guys noticed, but right now, our app is deployed, but it's only front end deployed. We want to make sure that we're genuinely being real with the reviews and they're not just based off biases and they're actual bad reviews. So we hope to in the future create a back end where users can create an account and with this account they can agree or disagree on the bad restaurants that have been reviewed. Kind of like how Yelp has that, was this review useful or not? We want to have that same feature for no thanks. So you can know, should I actually listen to this bad review or was just someone being a hater and just not happy with whatever happened that day? That is our app. Again, thank you everyone for coming, and we will now open the floor for any questions.
I have a question off the bat. What restaurant hurt you?
What restaurant hurt me? I mean, honestly, it was just more of us hearing like my friends' situations where they were literally refused to go into a restaurant and they were told, and we're reserved, and the restaurant was empty, and the manager saying, I can refuse the rights to anyone, leave. And like my friend was Indian and her friend was African American. So it's just like, what's going on? Times when I've had myself going into a restaurant and, based on whatever, I was told that, you have to give your credit card. And I was like, why do I have to give my credit card? I'm going to pay in cash. We have to keep it open tab. No, you don't. So stuff like that. And when you see that these restaurants are still profiting, still making money, and then I see small businesses out here, they're not making any money, they're not profiting as much, especially during COVID-19, I find that unfair. And for me, that's something that has to be stopped. I do not want these large businesses to win because of money. These small businesses need to be focused on, they need that attention, and we want to make sure that they're being heard.
Hey, this is Oliver here. Really cool app. I wanted to see what was like one of the biggest challenges that you all had to overcome with the implementation.
So we had like a last minute bug. For some reason, so we use the Yelp API, and for some reason, after getting the data from the API after doing the call, for some reason, we weren't able to key in to the extra information to be able to display like the hours and the comments and things like that. So we had to actually just store the information to state, and it worked.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing, Danny.
Yeah, and another one just real quick, because I think you guys will find this hilarious, was Danny, Marvin, and I were spending like a good hour and a half the other day trying to figure out why, when I was sharing my screen, why everything was so much smaller. And we spent an hour and a half trying to debug, finding out that the entire reason was because my screen was somehow set to 75%. And once I actually reset my screen, my entire CSS was so all over the place. I was like, wow, what in the world? I had to like go back, redo that CSS. It was just, at least we found it and we were able to finish it. So I love that. You guys can get a little laugh out of that.
No, it was tons of fun. It was a lot.
Any other questions?
Was there anything that came out of your integration with Yelp that caught you by surprise? Any restaurants that were really highly ranked that had pretty terrible reviews?
I think like for me, when we were searching, we were doing like location tests and trying to figure out like where we would, like display and stuff like that. Like we were having some fun just like testing food in like an area. And there's like I think it was like an Applebee's near like my girlfriend's house and stuff. And I've had my own personal bad experiences with there. So when I saw them pop up, I was like, yeah, like the people got me, they understood my pain. So it was just like, yeah, like those things. It was just cool to be able to see something that we built in like such a short amount of time to like, like just see it like live. And I thought it was really, really gratifying when we deployed it. It was like seeing like a child, it was like really, really cool. So we had a lot of fun building this app, and we hope you all enjoyed our presentation. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. No, thank you. No, thanks. All right. Okay. Coming up next, everybody says it's all about the green. So let's bring up All About the Green. Come on, All About the Green.
Hello, everyone. My name is Uduakawasi Awasura.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, everyone. First, I would like to thank the judges for joining us this evening and on our hackathon. And second, I would like to thank Mike for his for being our mentor throughout this process and his patience. And third, I would like to thank the staff and the fellows from Pursuit for joining us today. And my name is Henry Nunez. And before Pursuit, I was a developmental coach for the New York Red Bulls.
Hey guys, I'm Ohido Rahman. I'm currently a mobility engineer at Medtel, and what I do is I help configure phones for other companies. So if you have any questions regarding cell phones or anything regarding with tech, feel free to come to me. I'll be more than happy to take care of your problem. And we're all about the green.
So, the problem is a lot of people are now getting into plants, especially during like this global pandemic that we've been having. A lot of people have been stuck indoors, but a lot of people don't really know much about planting, which sometimes discourages people and makes them want to give up on the journey entirely. This is where we come in, all about the green.
All right. So a couple of cool things about planting. One, it's good for the environment. By planting, we are diminishing greenhouse effect gases. And two, we save a lot of money on our groceries. By the way, I just started planting jalapenos, and I don't think I'll be buying jalapenos anytime soon. Three is good exercise. And lastly, it's a good stress reliever. I know, especially during these times, planting has been like a nice way to just gather my thoughts and come back into my zone. All right, so now we're just gonna run through the app.
Okay. So this is our app, All About the Green, where you'll be greeted with a homepage where it will show the plant of the month. Then you'd be able to type in like any plant you wanted to.
You're not showing your page, the site, sorry.
Oh, sorry about that. Stop sharing. Okay. Can you see my page now?
Nah.
No.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Cool.
And we're back.
Sorry for that technical difficulty. So you'll be greeted by our homepage, which will have the search bar. It will also have a plant of the month. And you would be able to then type in whatever plant you wanted to. So like, let's say you wanted to look for like a spider lily. Or just spiders in general, spider lily. Yeah.
No, let's look for tomatoes actually. Oh, forget it.
So the API is a bit slow. So let's go for tomato.
There, you guys like the little shout outs with the hackathon? All right.
So once you get to, once you search the plant that you're looking for, it populates all the different pictures about like little tomatoes that you want to look into. It also gives you the family name and the scientific name as well. So then we have our plant inquiry. So this right here is for people who like, they might need help with plants, but they don't really want to, I guess, like maybe call into Home Depot or something really quickly, just, you know, because of a plant inquiry. So what they can do is they can type in they can upload their photo, type in their username, and type in a comment or a note. So and basically upload it, which would then push you to the open community forum. And this allows users to be able to just put any sort of post that they want to, whether it's like tips about like how to garden, plants that are like best to grow inside the house versus like outside. So then we're gonna take you to our plant scan. This is going to basically, well, you'll see. So you're going to upload a photo. And let's say this is like for people like, you know, you might be walking or you might be going somewhere and you see this plant, you're not exactly sure what's going on. So once you upload the photo, it is going to then scan the photo and be able to show you the probability of what that actual plant is. So as you can see here, it shows the user's image that was uploaded, and then it shows like the probability of it being poison ivy, of it being a poison oak, or of it being a poison stomach. And then at the bottom, it shows similar plants as well. And it gives a little synopsis about it. So the plant name, the scientific name, and then the about. So yeah. So now we're going to take it over to future implementations.
All right, so for our future implementations, we were thinking about taking this app on mobile. So we were in the future work on using React Native to get started on the mobile app. Ohidor, do you have any future implementations?
Yeah, so we're planning on building a way to purchase plant seeds and even possibly tools to help further expand our growth. We want people to be engaged and find easy access to start their gardening journey, as well as flourish and grow our community together. We also want to implement a notification system so users can stay informed and when to take care of their plants, and maybe something nice like a badge system. This system would allow it was like a incentive to keep people aware and what they're doing. So this badge would just encourage people to continue planting. And we are all about the green, your neighborhood plug. And I'll leave the floor open for any more questions.
Cool. I have a question, Arpan here. I love this idea. My girlfriend is a huge plant person, and we have tons of plants in our apartment, and she's always looking for new tools to learn about her plants. One question I have is, you know, this seems to be really community driven. So when launching an app like this or a product like this, you know, how are you thinking about growing that community or starting that community?
That's a great question. So we were thinking about, again, we expanding this app into potentially like a social media app. So we would have user authentication, as well as another thing we would add is having some sort of token. So having people accountable. So like, for example, having like a daily watering streak, or having like a profile where you would show all your profiles. I mean, all your plants, all your house plants and whatnot. And that way people could potentially look at your profile and see what type of plants you have, and vice versa. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sorry. I was like nodding my head.
Okay. I was just like, what?
So this is Coma, and I'm, you know, pretty enthusiastic. I see in the chat that I just started my garden on my back balcony, and I've been using very patient friends to upload pictures and send them and saying, why isn't this growing, or is this a blossom, or should I do this and that? So I'm curious, when you're thinking about your user base, who did you sort of target? Who are you thinking about that would really say, oh man, this is an app for me?
This is not for you, you said?
No. I was saying when you're thinking about your user base, who are you targeting that would look at this and say, yes, this is an app for me? Because I know this is an app for me, and I'm already thinking about, boy, do I need something like this to help my garden out.
So we started off like with trying to target beginners trying to get into gardening or like, you know, just plants in general. I know like even me, like I went out and bought a couple of plants like some months ago, and I like spent so much money on them and now they're like all dying. So I was like, you know, this is something that's cool for beginners. Also about like the information that's able to be populated. It's also good for like people who are like, you know, super into plants already, because it has like all these different things where like, if we wanted to show like the region of the plant, it could help people like traveling who are like into like botanics and things like that. So it started off as beginners, but like we want to grow it to like everyone.
Yes. Also, like if perhaps an example, if somebody were to go camping, I personally don't know what poison ivy looks like. So if I were to go camping and I saw a plant that I was not familiar with, so it's not just for getting started on planting, but also being aware of your environment and getting to know your environment.
Awesome.
Oh, sorry. Can I ask one
no,
last?
go for it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, this is Jesser. I was curious what you use to do like the reverse image lookup, and specifically on the percentages, if that's something that the API gave you.
So that was actually like a last minute bug that we had. I actually was able to grab that API from this site called plant.id, where they're able, basically when a user uploads their photo, it goes to their back end, and it makes a synchronous call. So when it goes to their back end, it takes, I think, about 20 seconds to then populate the response. So it has like the identification of the plant. It will then show like the different percentages. So it's based upon their API. They also had one that I thought was pretty cool, where you would send a photo in and like actual people will like kind of fine tooth the photo, but I believe it took about 24 hours to get a response back. So yeah.
That's cool. Thank you.
No problem.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All about the green. All right. All right. Last but not least, you know, they say computers are extensions of us. So why not make an extension for our extension? Coming up next, please put your hands together for YouTube to Spotify, the Chrome extension.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Kevin Wong, and I am an IT technician at the Fresh Air Fund. And I am also a very passionate lover of music.
Hi everyone, my name is Doug. I'm a shift assistant at Amazon, and I also love music. So with us being music lovers and listening to music all throughout, we have too many platforms to choose from. Whether it's YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and so on.
So like my friend Doug said, we have too many platforms. And personally, I only use Spotify.
And I use YouTube.
So let's say a friend of yours sends you a song from YouTube that you've never heard before. You end up really liking this song and you want to add it to your Spotify library. How can we do this? Well, we can all do it with just one click with our Chrome extension.
So let's try it out. So as you guys can see, we've preloaded a song. This is a song that someone, Corey, has been playing nonstop. Let me just make sure it's playing. It's the correct song that I want. Yep. That's the song. So up here on your right-hand side, we have our Chrome extension loaded. Add to Spotify. As soon as you click it, our Chrome extension gives us some results back from Spotify. We're able to choose what playlist that we want, but let's say I want to create a new playlist. If we open our profile, we easily get our QR code. So let me open my phone, scan the QR code, go straight to the app, and let's say I want to create a new playlist. And I want to add this song to my demo playlist. So we can easily see we have multiple tracks. I don't want the now. I want the original one. So I can select. Oh, sorry. It might take a second to load that playlist. So let's go back. Yep, it took a second. So demo. And now I can easily add it to my playlist. And, oh, my phone locked, sorry guys. And as you can see, if I go back to demo, the song was added. I can also go to my library, my like songs, and I can add it straight to my like songs. As you can see, it was added straight to my like songs.
So some milestones that we faced was learning how Chrome extensions were built, how they're executed, and how they function with React. And we also used multiple platform APIs, such as Chrome API, Spotify, and YouTube APIs.
So this was also built using React. So that's something that we wanted to integrate as well. Some future implementations is taking this Chrome extension and making it work across music, other music platforms such as Apple Music, Tidal, iHeartMedia, and so on. Play a snippet of the song prior to adding, add additional filters, removal capability, rename, and add the playlist. So this was our Chrome extension, trying to unite music lovers all across platform. Just want to thank Corey, Caroline, Mike, Sarah, John, and Jenya. Now we open the floor up to any questions.
Hi, this is Jesser. I really like this and I feel like I would use it a lot. I did have one question. When you show the list of songs, there are a lot of songs that have the same name. Have you thought about how you could give a customer like more control to actually pick the right song that they're looking for? Because a lot of the art is the same, is similar.
Yeah, so one of the things we wanted to implement was having the query search that we're actually searching for up top. So if the first few songs don't pop up, they're able to edit that query search on the spot and reload the search.
Gotcha. Cool.
Any other questions?
This is Como. What was the trickiest part of this? What presented you with the most challenges, and was it the thing that you thought it would when you first set out to do this?
For me, I feel like our most difficult challenge was trying to scan the YouTube page for the title of the song. So that was the most challenging part.
I think for me, it was debugging. So when you debug a Chrome extension, you actually can't use debugger. There might be a library out there, but it's not native to Chrome extensions. You have to console log instead. So that was kind of a challenge as well.
Hey, Arpon here. Did you run into any trouble with the fact that YouTube is a like a UGC platform and doesn't necessarily have the cleanest, like not every track you find on YouTube is an official version. Did that pose any challenges in trying to find and match that song to something that is official on Spotify?
Yeah, so the way we worked around it was we tried to look at the naming conventions of how unofficial songs were uploaded and how other version songs of the songs were uploaded. So we would look to see whether or not there were parentheses, commas, and so on, and we would take those away. Something else that we were looking into was using a Shazam type of music recognition. So not only is it scanning the YouTube page, but it's also listening for the track being played. That's it. Sorry.
Thank you, everyone.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you so much. YouTube to Spotify, Chrome extension. Let's give it up one more time to all the groups that went here. Well, at least one more time for now. Maybe we'll do it again later. It's super awesome. And so now we have the time for our judges to deliberate. So they're going to leave and go into a different Zoom room now where they're going to decide on tonight's winners. And the rest of us, whom are still here, we are going to do a small question Q&A for the different groups. So anybody in the audience who has any questions for any of the groups, now's your chance. Okay, so, go ahead and so you can throw your questions in the chat, and then we can, I guess I'll moderate that. Okay. Don't be shy, all right? Okay, well, a lot of positive comments so far. That's great. Okay, so Mike Boyle has a question. He says, for all the teams, how much of this got built last night, Sunday, Saturday, etc.? Maybe some of our teams would like to step forward and answer that.
Can I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, cool. Mike, that's a great question. And our group, All About the Greens, we have been coding nonstop, literally, till the very last minute of presentation. We encountered a lot of bugs throughout the whole journey. But they've been really great learning experiences. And one thing I'll give credit to is that throughout the whole process of being at Pursuit, one of the biggest thing is having grit and just failing forward. And we really used that to the test. That really tested our grit. And there was plenty of times where we just wanted to throw the whole app away, but we did it, and I'm proud of my team personally.
For our team, for No Thanks, I think when it comes to like strategizing and kind of seeing how you do stuff with us, we made sure we set our MVPs right away, so we knew exactly what we were going to work on. For us, we knew it was functionality and then UX designing. So we told ourselves, hey, let's spend that Saturday, do functions, make sure that works out. We knew exactly what we were gonna hit, and then Sunday we knew exactly what we were gonna do, was just the designing, and then today was just after that is just posting it and making sure it's pulled to master and everything. It just great time management skills were just created because of this, like a lot of just new things that you can get out of it, which was I guess the time management and being able to break everything down. And when you actually get to go through with your plan and go through with that timing, it works out. It's great.
Yeah, I want to go off what Rafid said. I know in our team, Maria and I were ready to code right away. We had the ideas thrown. Deja really made sure we planned, and I'm so grateful for that. Planning definitely did help a lot with time management. We hit all the MVPs pretty early. We got a lot of the functionality down. And once that was down packed, the styling and then everything just went so smooth. And I'm so proud of my team.
Yeah, same here. One of my teammates on Saturday had something they had to deal with, so it was only myself and Kong working on the MVP, and we were able to smash that out. And then on Sunday was Father's Day, so most of the time I wasn't able to be there because I have a daughter, and they were able to make that site look amazing. Like they did all the styling, and it was beautiful.
Awesome. Okay, so another question we got from Josh Goldberg is, what would you, this is to all the teams, what would you do differently for next hackathon?
For our team, I think do research prior to starting. We, the day of, started learning about Chrome extensions. So we actually, as soon as the kickoff on Saturday happened, that's when we started reading about Chrome extensions and learning how it actually works. So it took us probably 3 to 4 hours of just doing research. So taking that research and doing it prior to the kickoff, I think could have helped a lot.
Cool. Anybody else?
I think for like our team, we had a pretty like smooth like time during this like hackathon. For styling though, we were like sort of trying to figure out what would be good color palettes and stuff like that. And I think that like finding like taking inspiration from places and stuff would be like a good place to like start and stuff. So just you know, we were worried about the functionality and making sure everything was running smoothly. So I think that just like figuring out more things and just like but I, you know, we had a great time during this hackathon, and yeah, I'm proud of everybody. So I guess using this time to shout out everybody. So that's all around. All right.
Yeah, I would just say probably for our team, probably to have like backup in terms of like our API, like to search for more than one, because like right before our presentation with like our test presentation with Corey and them, like the API, like I don't know if they switched the information or the way how they were sending us the information, it would not work at all. So and when we searched like the main site to for their testing API, like it was giving back all kind of different information that it wasn't giving us the first time we tried it. So that kind of held us back for like a couple hours.
Any other teams that would do anything different?
I would say we also had some COVID near us. We also had some API issues where we maxed out our news feed articles because we were hitting it so many times during editing and debugging and things like that. So one thing I think that Giovanni and Deja would agree that we would do is incorporate some kind of function to rotate the API keys every time one maxes out, to just go ahead and just grab the new one every time.
Awesome. Okay, so we've got another question from Douglas McCrell. Douglas, can you actually ask the question? You've got such a terrific voice. I don't think I could ask your question.
I threw two in there, but the one that's open to everyone I wanted to find out was, what was your biggest block, and how did you bypass it? How did you move past that block?
Can I answer this one?
Yeah.
My biggest block personally was the continuous coding aspect. Like, it was like, you know, okay, I'm hitting this bug, I'm hitting this error. Do I take a break? Do I like clear my head and come back? You know, or do I just push through and really try to break it down and really understand what's going on? So it was a really tough time, like mentally, like I really had a tough time mentally, like pushing myself to stay in the game. Like I like physically, verbally had to like give myself affirmations and say like, no, you got this, like, let's do this, like, come on, like, let's go. And I think that probably like hindered me like a lot, because I would sit in this block, and I, like, even with talking to my teammates, I would still be sitting in this block and it would be difficult to move through. But just having that mentality to keep going and keep coding it out is what pretty much got me through. And research, honestly, just if you don't understand research, that's what really got me through the block.
I think with our team, more specifically for myself, my two teammates were really good and really familiar with using Redux, especially Redux Toolkit. And, you know, I wasn't comfortable with that because I'm not really that well with Redux Toolkit. And, you know, having to sometimes just sit there and watch while they're talking, they're interacting, and I'm just sitting there watching them. It's a little, for me, it was a little demotivating at first because I felt like I wasn't contributing. But, you know, they were able to tell me that, you know, at the end of the day, Hackathon, along with Pursuit itself, it is all a learning experience. I can definitely 100% say that with just watching them, Redux has been so much better for me to understand, and I can definitely see why it's so much like better to use with, you know, React and everything. It's an amazing, just the last 48 hours, the amount of stuff I've learned just supersedes every single error I've had, every bug issue, whatever it was. Like, it just really helped me out with that.
Yeah, and I would like to say, like, just getting through all the bugs and all the blocks, like for me personally, I just like relied on like what I know. Like I relied on the knowledge that I know that I have, and I know what's supposed to happen. I know the intended like behaviors of everything, and I just question things and just break all the bugs down. And I just, to get through those blocks, it was more so about just relying on the knowledge that I know that I have.
Yeah. Oh no, you can go, British. Go.
Definitely the part where it's like you realize that you're still learning, and I think that's a block that I think everybody had. Like, we are all still learning, and as developers, that's really what our experience is going to be. So even as like my group is writing code, like, yeah, we were peer programmed the whole time, but the other person was on Google looking things up, reading documentation, being like, hey, look, this is what I found. And it's like, oh, okay. And then we implement it, and it's like, oh, it's working. And we spend like a whole lot of moments screaming at each other, but not in a bad way, just like out of excitement, because we got something working out of learning something new. And that was like one of our biggest blocks, but it was the most exciting block to get past.
Can I jump onto what Kevin was saying, real quick? Just as much as we're still learning, also looking at the code and looking at some of the projects, I feel like we've also come a long way. I feel like we should also celebrate that, guys. Like, we really, some of your projects, I'm like, yo, it's fire. So congrats to everybody.
Yes. It's still crazy how we just made an app in 48 hours. That's just, to me, it's unbelievable.
Trust your code, man. Trust the code. Like, you know how to
do
the
process.
Trust the process.
Absolutely. Let's get another question in here. So I think this is another Goldberg question. If you could spend time learning a new technology for your Hackathons project, what would it be?
Bootstrap. With the for me personally, when it came to like showing the images of the plant search, I would have loved to have like a carousel effect in there. And I was looking online how to do it without using Bootstrap, but every search I found, there was a lot of Bootstrap going on. So maybe some other time I'll invest in learning that.
I think like for me, for my team, I think my teammate Danny made me want to learn modals, like how to figure out all that stuff. Because at first we were gonna do things in just pages, and he had the whole idea of like when you click it, instead of like a page, like a modal pops up with all the information, and it's like such a sleek way of like doing things. And also to touch on what Henry said, like Bootstrap, like in order, like when you see like the images and like all the cards, it'd be cool to be able to like swipe through like all of the images and see more things in real time. So this project was definitely like an eye opener for like some really cool things that exist out there that you could definitely like put in and implement in projects and stuff. So learned a lot from everybody from all their presentations. So start watching. So
yeah, it's gonna be a really cool, amazing future we have for all of us. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah.
And to add on to that, Bootstrap is dope. The technology I would like to see Tastebuds on, I would love to see Tastebuds on like a mobile app. So I would really like to learn React Native, because Henry, maybe you could teach me a few things, because I definitely would love people to have this app in their hands within like a reach. Right
Bro,
away.
if you know React, you know React Native. I promise you that.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing, React Native.
No, I'm saying if you know React, you know React Native. I promise.
I think for our team was probably getting to learn Redux a little bit more, get more comfortable with it. We did mention a couple of times it would have been much easier using it because we were handing props and doing callbacks all over the place. We had a lot of information, a lot of data in our fetch APIs. We had so many APIs and everything was being processed differently. So some of the data came back as like arrays, an array with multiple objects, just an object, and just keying into everything was really difficult and a lot of work to do. So just having that centralized state where everything can access it would have been so much easier.
Yeah, we definitely, as soon as we started the project, we were like, oh my God, Redux, this will work better with Redux. So we were shaking our heads. We got to get better at learning the toolkit, but definitely kudos to Redux too. We'll get to it.
Awesome. Oh, go ahead.
No, I mean, for Tectonic, that was like the first thing, like, oh, React Native, but definitely something, because, Tectonic is mobile first, mobile centric, like this is an app made for mobile. So definitely a way to get it to React Native and deploying on that would be amazing. So for future.
Great. I think the judges are almost back, so we have time for another question. Alejandro's question is, what was your last commit message? What does it say? Or your funniest commit message?
Our last commit was actually called pushing production. And we were really, we all were screen sharing at the same time. And when we merged it, like we were super proud, like that's it, it's done.
Cool.
Like I'm not sure if we had like any like funny commit messages, but we did like launch together. Like we called each other and we were just like, "You ready? Yeah, let's go!" And then we like launched it. It was like a really like hype thing, like a really cool hype moment for me. But like for me, I leave a lot of weird commit messages. Like I'm just like, "Hey, the images work. Let's get it," and then stuff like that. So a bunch of fun stuff. But we launched together. We made sure we were all like there to sort of celebrate it because we've definitely come a long way since where we started. So yeah, this has been an awesome experience.
Cool. Very, very cool. Fun fact, my parents are actually watching here.
Hey.
Hey.
No, I don't think they're on camera, but they are
Hello,
here.
Mom and Pop.
They're texting me constantly, telling me how amazing all of your apps are. And so, I mean, they had me, so their standards are pretty low, but I do agree that we had some amazing apps today. All you guys should be super proud. Any other, I guess we don't, it's kind of like the judges are going to be here like very, very soon. Is there any other questions from anybody in the audience that?
Yeah, I have a question.
Great.
Can you talk about your hula hoop career?
I don't think we should make this about me. This is totally about you all at this time. I'll be happy to tell you all the details of my hoop career later, Henry. Great. Oh, Caroline King says, if you had to give a shout out, I think that's a question. There's no question mark, but I'm going to throw it out there as a question.
I'll go. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, John, Jenya. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, everybody, for your support. Thank you, Eric, my mentor. He's here.
Yeah, I'm also doing the same thing. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, Caroline, John, Jenya, like everybody. I think that like me and like
this program, like I've had like a funny experience with it. Like I went through a lot of stuff, and I think that like especially like Corey and Caroline helped me like motivate myself to be like, yo, you can do this. Like just go for it, and like seeing that potential and helping me like tell myself that I can like do it, and seeing how like being at this hackathon and doing it. Like I didn't think I'd be able to get here, and I got here. So this is awesome. So thank you to everybody, especially to the class too. You guys are all motivators. So shout out to everybody. You guys are awesome.
Shout
I
out
just
to
want
shout outs to Corey, shout outs to Caroline and Andy. It was a big help. Shout outs to the team, Tim and Jay. Shout outs to 6.2 showing up. Shout outs to Code Academy. Shout outs to Code Academy for the sponsors. Shout outs to everybody. I mean, you guys are all here and it's amazing. Shout outs to Corey's parents who are watching. Produced a great instructor. Thank you guys. Thank you all.
I want to give like a major shout out to Corey, Caroline, and like especially like Mike Boyle for just like joining us on like this crazy ride. You know, even when we have like a lot of things going on, there were times where I definitely kind of just wanted to like walk away and just throw everything out, but I pushed through, and so I want to thank them a lot. So yeah.
You did that, girl. You did that.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for the kind words. The judges are back. And so before the judges announce all the awards, let's do our audience choice award first. Okay. So I'm going to open up this poll. All right. So hopefully you can all see the poll. If you're a co-host, you won't be able to see it. Caroline's and Dave. So get your votes in. So we're almost there. We've almost got all of our votes in. Got 10 more people. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Oh, we're all dying to hear 4. We got 4. Okay, we're waiting for 4 more people. 3 more. Okay, oh, we have 2 more. Let's give them 10 more seconds. One more. There's one more person who is really having trouble deciding. Who's it going to be? Who is it going to be? Actually, their vote doesn't actually matter because of the stats. So I'm going to end it. End poll. Okay, so the winner of the Audience Choice Award is the YouTube to Spotify app. Congratulations. Fantastic.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to share my screen now that the judges have deliberated. We've done the Audience Choice Awards, the judges' votes, so we're going to look at the most useful, and I believe we have a judge that is going to present this.
That's me, correct? Okay. So, I wanted to first of all call out honorable mentions to 2 teams that clearly defined their user problem and solved it, and definitely empowered their users to take charge of both their dollars and take charge of their plant. So good honorable mentions go to All About the Green and No Thanks. And it was a very heated discussion, and the judges were all impressed by so many of the projects, but this award goes to YouTube to Spotify. The judges were particularly impressed with the fact that you solved a very clear-cut problem and you did it very elegantly using a Chrome extension. There's competitors out there that have done it, but definitely the solution that you presented was much more elegant, much more simple, and much easier for a user to use. The QR code was definitely over the top, and the fact that you were able to integrate both a mobile and a desktop presentation was very impressive. So congratulations to YouTube, to Spotify for all your very hard work and very good presentation. We're all very impressed. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, Kevin,
Look
Doug.
for it out in the Chrome extension store soon.
All right. Oh yeah, we have our fireworks. Okay. Coming up next, we're going to talk about the most creative. So the most creative idea, and I believe Arpan is going to deliver this. Thank you.
Cool. Hey everyone, just to kind of second what Como was saying, we had some healthy debates in the judges' room, especially over this one and the other awards. But there was one product that was really stood out to us, and that was Tastebuds. What we really liked about Tastebuds was it was a really interesting solution to, I think, a problem that a lot of us have faced. In fact, two problems. One is, figuring out what restaurant to eat at and who to go with. And another one is sort of making friends, and a unique way to make friends around a shared passion over food. Another thing that we really liked is just the relevancy to the times right now, especially as restaurants are starting to open up. This is a really interesting way to get people back out to restaurants and being together again. And also going first is never easy. So props to that.
Tastebuds, you're welcome to unmute yourself.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
just
you, really
at most words. Thank you.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
And
All
we
right.
will find your yummy buddy.
Find your yummy buddy. All right. And the last award of the night, the most ambitious, is going to be told by Oliver.
All right, so this one was super hard, specifically because when you think about everything that was accomplished in 2 days, I can tell all of you right now that on our engineering team at Code Academy, we don't usually make this much progress in 2 days. So when you see something as like most ambitious, I think first and foremost, you should all be like extremely proud of what you were able to get done in 2 days. And definitely talk to the mentors from Code Academy. They can tell you that it's very true. Like the amount of work that you all did in 2 days is not what we normally see on the engineering team. With that being said, I think on the most ambitious side, there was a clear standout for a number of reasons. And I think it was for how relevant the problem was to what we're facing day to day today. It was the number of integrations that this team had. There was just like integration upon integration upon integration, which was impressive. Just so many different APIs to work with. And it was also live, so it was running on Netlify, so you could use it today, which was amazing. And then I think the last comment I just had here on my notes was just mine that the team got so far. And so with further ado, it's COVID Near Us is the winner for most ambitious.
Woo!
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. I'm crying.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh my goodness. Awesome. And we want to just give a special thanks, thank you so much to everybody at Pursuit and everything. I wrote something out. So over the past 9 months, I've had the honor and privilege of working alongside this very talented and special group of developers. Although everyone enjoys their weekends and weeknights, I can say without a doubt that I have the best weekends and the best weeknights. This group of people have been beyond inspiring to me. Not only have they decided to take on the full-time job of learning to code, but many of them have taken it on as their second full-time job. This is not an easy task, and I'm so proud of the hard work that so many of you have put into this program. I want to thank whole, there are so many people working tirelessly every day in order for this program to run and be successful. I'm terrified to start to name names because I'm certain that I'll accidentally leave people out. I will, however, give a special thanks to Juki and Dave for making their vision come to life and for sharing that vision and their dreams with all of us. I'd also like to thank my classroom team. Caroline, you've been our rock since the start. Thank you, John, Jenya, as well as Celine for all the time and effort you've spent working with the fellows and helping to create the greatest classroom culture on the planet. Thank you so much to Codecademy for sponsoring tonight's hackathon, and Mike Boyle for everything that you do. Thank you to all the volunteers that you have left such an impact on the fellows and the program, and you are so appreciated. And thank you so much to all the fellows. You are truly inspiring, and I can't wait to see what you all build in the future. And lastly, thank you so much, everyone, for coming out tonight and making this night something special. Get home safely, and good night. Good night. Thank you, everybody. Congratulations, 6-4. Woo!
Good night. Great job, everybody. You did so awesome.
Good night, everyone.